Hello there, my first grade scientists. How are we doing today? Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I miss you guys. But look who I've got visiting with us today and who's going to help us with our science. It's my little friends, all my animal friends. They're here to assist me in teaching you guys all about the different external characteristics that each one of them has. And we'll learn all about that here in just 1 second. But before we get into that fun and exciting stuff, we need to go over some vocabulary words, okay? It's going to be really super fast and quick. We just have 2 of them today. Our first one is the word characteristics. Oh, that's a really big word. Can you say that? Say it with me. Characteristics. That means something you can observe about an object using your 5 senses. Now, you guys all remember what your 5 senses are, right? I'm going to pause here. I'm going to wait. You shout it out to me. What? I can't hear you. What? Oh, yes, you guys are right. Super smart. Kiss your brain. Kiss your brain. Okay, so yes, we have our 5 senses, which includes our hearing with our ears, our looking and seeing and observing with our eyes, our nose smells things for us, our mouth tastes things for us, and then what about our hands? They're used to touch and feel things, right? Okay, let me scroll down to the next word here. Okay, and then the next word is diet. What do you think that means? Look at our picture. Yes, it means food. Certain foods animals eat. Not all animals eat the same things, right? We all have different needs. And different foods might hurt some animals, but may not harm others. Do you know any special diets for certain animals? That's one. How about the chocolate for dogs? Is that good for them? No, so don't ever give your dog chocolate, even if they beg and give you their little paw. Don't give them any chocolates. Okay, so I'm going to move right along over here. Hello, my friends, they're still there. And we're going to talk about external characteristics and how they determine where animals live, how they move, and what they eat. So let me zoom in over here first on our first chart. Where animals live. It says body coverings, fur, hair, and maybe no hair. All right, so determining their type of body hair will determine where they live. Say, have you ever seen one of those cats that has no hair on it? You know what I'm talking about? Could they survive, say, in Alaska? Heavens no, they would freeze to death, right? So an animal would need to have thick fur in order to survive in extreme cold weather like that, right? Maybe, what about our dogs? Do they have fur? Do they have hair, light hair? And if they do have hair, what do we notice about them in the summertime? What happens to their hair? Yes, oh man, don't they shed their hair so bad, right? Do you have it all over your clothes and in big chunks when you brush them? Right, so with our weather changes, their hair changes. Have you ever noticed a horse and what they look like in the winter, what their hair looks like? Oh, it's really neat. So they get they have really short hair, right? And you can feel them and they're nice and soft and we have to brush them and everything. In the winter, it kind of grows a little bit thicker to keep them warm. But then in the summer, you'll see that their hair actually sheds too, just like a dog. They get rid of the extra hair because they don't need it here, especially in this Texas heat, right? Okay, so body coverings plays a huge factor in where you'll find the animals living. What about the color? Color is very helpful in their surviving and where they live, right? Would a white polar bear survive very well in the green forest? No, they would stick out so easily, right? So say, for instance, like I was bringing the white fur, polar bears, they're white. Where do they live? That's right, they live in Antarctica and cold places like that, okay? Body shape helps. So big bears need to live in bigger spaces, right? Birds are small. They can pretty much fly and live anywhere, right? And squirrels. I bet you can list a lot of animals. And size, like we say, with the body shape, the different sizes help them be able to function and live in the certain areas that we find them. Okay, let's move on. How they move. Wings, that's an example, right? Who has wings? Do giraffes have wings? No. Birds and bats, ostriches, penguins, right? But can penguins fly with their wings? No, they don't. But animals that do use their wings, that's how they get around, right? They have little feet. It would take them forever to get to one place to the next if they had to walk. So they use their wings to get them to places faster. Flippers. Who has flippers? Can you tell me? Who has flippers? Ha, you guys are so smart. What about hooves? Have you heard of that term before? Hooves? Well, if you ever take a real close look at like horses and cows and cattle, animals like that, you'll see they're really strong hooves. Paws. Who has paws? Do we have paws? Is that what we call our hands and feet? No. Cats and dogs have paws, right? They're very soft and sensitive and protected by fur all around their paws. So different types of body parts helps the animals maneuver around and get to place. Our other one is what they eat. What if you had no teeth? Can you picture yourself? Can you tuck in your lips over your teeth and right? It would be really, really hard to eat anything if you didn't have certain types of teeth to be able to chew your food, right? So for instance, what kind of teeth does a shark have? Really sharp, triangular shaped teeth, right? If he had flat teeth like cows do, would he be able to eat? No, he would have a really hard time, right? Being able to catch his meal and then being able to chew his meal. Where a cow doesn't need sharp teeth, right? Because he grazes on hay and grass. So our teeth shape helps determine what type of food we eat. What about claws? Who has claws? Do you know a type of animal that has claws? How about like eagles or hawks? Any other animal has claws? Ooh, lions and tigers have claws too, right? And they use that to help capture their meal and hold on to them and break apart their meal. Okay, we'll move on. Beaks. What's a beak? Do you know what a beak is? That's right. It's a mouth for like ducks or birds, right? They use those beaks to catch their meals and eat. Okay, and even some birds, their beaks are super, super sharp. What do you call those birds that fly around and you're like, oh, there might be a dead animal laying around. Do you remember what they're called? You're exactly right. So their beaks are really sharp. That way they can easily, again, get into their meals and break apart into smaller pieces so they can eat it. Their eyes, what about their eyes? How would their eyes help them be able to determine what they're going to eat? That one's a tricky one. Well, some animals are nocturnal, right? Do you remember that word, nocturnal? Animals that live in the dark or come out in the dark, right? So they have special eyes where they're able to see their food, right? If I went outside, I wouldn't be able to see animals very well like they can because my eyes aren't like their eyes. They have special eyes that allow them to see their next meal, right? Okay, so very quickly, that was just a real quick rundown on that. We are going to watch a video now And forgive me, I'm going to push play. Let me make sure my volume is turned all the way up so you can hear. I'm going to push play. I'm going to expand so you may see.
Hi, I just got back from a great trip to the zoo. I had a lot of fun and learned a lot too. But I just had some questions about some of the animals that I saw. As I walked around, I noticed how different the animals were from each other. I noticed that they all needed air, food, and water to survive, but their bodies, behaviors, and habitats were all different. How does an animal's body help it to move, get food, and survive?
What do you guys remember what we just talked about?
I wrote down some observations while I was at the zoo. Animals often move around to find food and water, to care for their young, or to escape predators. I use my feet and legs to run or walk, but animals use different body parts to help them move. Parrots and bats use wings to fly and get from one place to another quickly. Sea lions and penguins use flippers to swim and maneuver underwater. Fish have fins to swim too. I spent a long time watching them under the bridge. Most fish move their body and tail fins back and forth to get through the water. The other fins help them steer and balance. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, the African savanna exhibit. Zebras use hooves to run quickly and defend themselves. Is there anything else besides speed that might help zebras escape predators?
This one's a good question. What do you think?
Good thinking. Many animals have special colors and patterns that help them hide in plain sight. Zebra stripes are a kind of camouflage that blend in with the shade and sun in the grasses where they graze. They also look confusing when the herd starts to run, so that it's hard for a lion to pick just one out of the group. So that's one pretty convincing body covering. I wonder what other kinds of body coverings animals can have.
What did we talk about? What do you remember?
I've got fur and feathers so far. What else? I know, scales. Fish and reptiles have scaly skin to help protect themselves and to keep moisture inside of their bodies.
I thought I heard somebody talking about reptiles.
I'm doing some research on what characteristics different animals use to survive.
Well, alligators are one of my favorite animals.
Cool. Do you know how alligators move and eat?
They have legs to walk on land and webbed feet, and a powerful tail that helps them swim. Their large, strong jaws and pointy teeth help hold on to their prey.
Yikes, that's a lot of teeth.
They're really good hunters because they're so hard to see in swampy water where they live.
I can see how their color helps them blend in. Is there another reason they're hard to see?
Definitely. An alligator's eyes and nostrils are high on its head, so it can rest in the water with very little of its body showing.
But it can still breathe and see when prey is getting close. Nice one. Thanks for sharing.
My pleasure. See you later. Bye.
The alligator has an interesting strategy for hunting. I wonder what other characteristics help animals get food. I can think of two other animals from the African exhibit at the zoo that use special body parts for feeding. How do giraffes and elephants get food?
Oh, you should know this. Share with somebody.
I saw the giraffes today using their long necks to reach leaves on high branches, and their super long tongues to pull those leaves off the trees. Shorter animals like gazelles wouldn't be able to reach those branches and would have to eat plants closer to the ground. The elephants use their trunks like arms to bring food and water to their mouths. That way they can keep their heads up and be aware of possible danger. There are so many interesting animals and so many different ways they meet their needs. Can you think of any other special characteristics that help animals to survive? Well, have fun investigating, and I'll see you next time.
Oh, so let me go back over here. So do we remember when we talked about the eyes? What did we learn about gators? How do they use their eyes to help them hunt for their meals? I knew you'd get it. You guys are so smart. All right. Well, you're going to see them again in one of my other videos when you go on your zoo hunt for another activity that you do. And we'll see how well you know them and how they use their external characteristics to survive and live. All right, my scientists, that is all we have for today. I look forward to working with you guys some more. See you later.